Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to my channel, and today in this video we are going to look at how we can consume the webhooks that are coming from Chatwoot for any conversations which may happen between a customer and our agent through the chat widget. So we will first see how we can set up Ngrok to consume the HTTP webhooks. Now I'm using Ngrok because it gives me a nice little dashboard where I can see the entire payload, I can replay it, do certain stuff which is easier. And anyways, I highly recommend Ngroks for webhook consumption, especially if you are doing any third-party integration. And along with that, we are also going to create our first Python-based APIs. We will use FastAPI to create one API which is a post request where we will consume the webhook and we will try to process certain things. So with this target in mind, let's get started. Now I already have the Docker setup up and running. I have my Chatwoot running on localhost 3000. I have the widget in a simple HTML file on localhost 3001. And this is a conversation which is already happening. I was trying something, right? And yeah, we have our code base as well. So I have this open in my VS Code. If you want to get a sense of what we have covered so far, I would suggest you click on the playlist link and you can visit the rest of the videos. This is the third one of this series. So now, how do we create a webhook and try to consume that inside our application? Well, first of all, let's create an Ngrok tunnel. So I already have Ngroks, as you can see. So I'll do Ngrok HTTP, and let's just say our Python APIs will run on which one can we use? Let's just use 3002. Now I don't have anything already running, but I have a feeling it should just work. This is the temporary domain that we got. Now I already have a subdomain which is permanent, but because this is just demo, I'm going to use it. Now let's go to settings. I should have something called as integrations, and here you will see we have configure the webhook thing. It is disabled for now. I'll come over here, add a new webhook, paste my URL, and I can listen to multiple webhooks. And right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just read these two webhooks. Okay, I'm not expecting any other webhook over here. Now, in the self-hosted version of Chatwoot, I couldn't find a way to validate or authorize the webhooks. So what you can do is maybe put something like token ABC123, and then you can validate that on the backend because I'm assuming that this is a string, a random enough string, which no one would be able to easily guess. Okay, so let's just put this. Now, when we create an Ngrok tunnel, we also get this admin web interface. I'll open that up. So far, so good. Now, because our webhooks are configured, if I try to type any message over here, like so, go to our web interface and I can see it says 502 bad gateway, which is logical because we don't have anything running on that port where Ngrok has created the tunnel, but I can see the entire payload. Can you see? So what we need to do is write a little bit of Python code to consume this. Now, if you're not coming from a Python background, don't worry too much. It's pretty easy in terms of understanding the language. You just have to obviously understand the syntaxes, but I will explain you the code in a way so that even if you don't have too much experience with Python, you should be able to manage. Okay. So now for Python, what we need to do is whenever you are working with Python based code, you should have a virtual environment. And the reason for a virtual environment is you will be installing multiple packages which can be of different versions, and you don't want them to be globally installed, right? For example, if you have ever worked with PHP Laravel, you do Composer install for that particular projects, and you have very few which are Composer globally required. Very similar to that, we have Python virtual environments. To create one, we can use the command python space -m venv, and typically we store that file. We create the file. What am I saying? We create a virtual environment folder with the name .venv. Okay, so here it is, python -m. We are creating a virtual environment, and this is the name. Python not found, which is a problem. Typically, we should have Python, and if not, then you should have Python 3. And I do. So what I will do is maybe, okay, for now, I'll just go with Python 3. Okay, it would need the package, so I can just do apt-get install. Yes, I want to install that. It's a small enough thing. And now I'm quite sure the virtual environment got created. Yes, here it is. Now we need to activate it. So we will run a command source.venv bin activate. And can you see in front of my prompt, I have this, which basically means that my virtual environment is now active. If I want, I can even deactivate it. Deactivate. Right, now you can see that the venv is gone. And because we do want it, we will get back to that particular venv. Okay. Now, for creating REST-based APIs in Python, we have multiple packages, and the one which I'm going to use is FastAPI. And for Python, the package manager is pip. I have pip installed, so I'll do pip install. FastAPI, and it also requires one more package called uvcorn. Now my packages have been installed. If I do pip freeze, I will see all the packages that are right now in my virtual environment folder. And typically what happens is we do this so that all the packages are listed in a file. Almost like you can consider this as our composer JSON if you have worked with PHP and composer stuff. Your application running on port 4040 is available. What is running on port 4040? I am not doing anything. Okay, this is the admin interface. Yeah, that's fine. We don't need that. We will create a Python file, app.py. We have FastAPI, so we will do. Okay, it's not picking up. I'll just reload my VS Code. I hope my VS Code is able to get the VNVs and stuff. Yeah, I was doubting that. Okay, in the meantime, we will keep going ahead. From FastAPI, we will import the FastAPI. And we will also import the request. We will also import uvcorn. And then we create a variable called app where we instantiate the FastAPI. Now, when I have the instance of app, I can do something like this is like I'm defining that this is a route. Now in this line, what I did was I defined a function called webhook. Okay, def stands for define, and I'm defining a function over here. The first parameter I'm expecting over here is the request, and then I'm also expecting the token, which is the query param which I will get. How will I get that? Through this. Okay, let's see. By the way, the URL needs to be changed as well. I'll just go over here and do /API/webhook and hit save. Okay, now clear this. One more message. Again, I got a 502, which is fine, but this time the URL is correct. This is the URL that we are creating over here. So let's proceed. We will need to get the body content from the post request. So I'll do body equals request.json. So with this, we should get the entire request body. Why don't we do a print and just be sure that this is something that we get. However, right now we won't be able to execute this code because the APIs are still not running. So we would do, okay, so we have done something over here and I'll explain you. I'm checking that if the name is equal to main, then uvcon run app:app. This is the host, this is the port, and reload true will mean if I change anything in this file, the app will automatically restart. I would be very honest, I don't know what this line means as of now. I am new to Python as well, and I am reading stuff, doing things, and I'm exploring. But what I understand is when we run this app.py on our console, we get the kind of some name thing, and this is, we are basically checking whether it is main or not, which obviously is the code. And if that is the case, what we do is we create an instance of uvcon, we run it, and this is the configuration based on which what will happen is that the APIs will be available. That's the whole premise. Now our code is ready, so why don't we do python 3 app.py. Let's see. Application startup completed, which basically means that the application is running. If I change something over here, Python has a way to print strings, and also inside that print the variables. So I'll change that, and now if you see, it says warning, start reload detected changes in this file, shutting down, it restarted everything. So now if I try to replay this, can you see I get a 200 success status code, and in here I get my console. Awesome. So we have our first step ready, and let us now quickly get an understanding of what is happening in the webhook. So inside the entire body of the post request, we can see we have account ID, name. This is something which we are getting because that's what we have provided during the setup. Now we have content type as text, which means it's a text message. Content we are able to see. If you remember, I typed this. If I type one more, something else actually. This is a message for demo. It changes. So why don't we just try and print the message? Okay, so we have content. So what we can do is body dot get content. Now again, our app should restart, but it failed because I think message equals this. And now if I start, yes, now it is running. So again, I will replay this. Our terminal is kind of clean. And replay, status code 200. Body is, this is a message for demo. So well, this is good progress. In this video so far, we were able to set up a webhook. We were able to also create an API using FastAPI in Python, and we are able to understand the payload that is coming to us, and we are able to get the meaningful information what we require. So that's about it for this video, guys. If you like this video, then do click on the thumbs up icon and don't forget to subscribe to my channel.